Hi, I'm talking today with Mount Royal University graduate, former Calgary Hitmen and Tri-City American, Connor Rankin. Connor, how you doing? How's summer been?
Thanks, Zach. It's been good. It's been good. It's been a different summer, that's for sure. The transition, getting away from school and having some time off, and it's been nice. But trying to keep busy when I can.
Yeah, you just graduated from Mount Royal. Tell us about your degree and some of the plans you might have in the future.
Yeah, so I graduated with my accounting degree there at MRU, and something that I always enjoyed doing. I've always enjoyed numbers and stuff like that. But obviously with the pandemic and things going on right now, I'm kind of taking a year to kind of see what I want to do. I started my own hockey development business as well, and would like to stick with the game of hockey. I've done it for so long, and I've enjoyed doing it. So the future's kind of got a lot of questions to it. But for right now, I just kind of want to enjoy myself and see what I enjoy doing for a career potentially.
Well, let's start with your Mount Royal career, looking back on careers. You came out of the Western League and you actually started in the ECHL before deciding to come back to Canadian University Sport for some hockey at Mount Royal. What went into that decision for you to leave the coast to come back and go to school?
Well, it was a tough decision. You're playing pro hockey, and that's always the end goal with a hockey player. And but at the time, when I signed that AHL deal, it's pro hockey. You're not going to reject that. So, when December hit and just the ice time I was getting, I wasn't comfortable where I was. Maybe I was too young or wasn't matured yet enough. I'm not sure, but with the WHL scholarship sitting there and with talks with MRU, which was an up and coming team and a great school, I saw it as a chance to develop more. Only playing 28 games a season and lots of time for practice, lots of time to go in the gym and just develop my game that way. And I thought, being 20 years old at the time, there's always time to improve. I'm not going to peak at 20 years old. You see a lot of guys peak 25, 30 years old. So I thought it was a great opportunity to develop my game and potentially play at a better league, when this time rolled around.
That transition that you made from the coast to MRU, it's not just a hockey transition, it's also a school transition. So what was it like for you to go from the first half of the season where it was just hockey, hockey, hockey to the second half of the season where you're in class at 8:30 a.m. and then you're on the ice in the afternoon practicing again. And then you got to go home and study for the exam you have the next day.
Yeah, it's definitely a big transition. You're at practice with East Coast, you're at practice, you're home by noon, and you're watching TV or playing video games the rest of the day and hanging out with the guys. So to go back to MRU and you got class in the morning, you got practice in the afternoon, you got to study and do schoolwork at night. It's a big transition, but to be honest, I enjoyed it. Even in my fifth year, I really enjoyed. We call it the grind, right? You're always doing something, and but at the same time, you're doing it with all the guys. All the guys are in the same boat as you, and you're all trying to get through a test or get through a midterm or a project, and you're doing it all together. Whether we all went back to school together to study and stuff, we try to make it as fun as we could, and we definitely did that. And it was, like I said, it's a lot of hard work, but it's you have that sense of accomplishment when you're that busy.
Speaking of accomplishment, what do you think is your greatest accomplishment at Mount Royal University? Is it a hockey accomplishment or is it an academic accomplishment?
It's a good question. I've had a lot of great times at MRU, and I'm happy with my 5 years there and what I accomplished. It's tough to say. I still have that sense of disappointment actually, because the reason I chose MRU is they're a new up and coming team, and I wanted to bring back at least a Canada West or national championship, which sadly we never got to do, and we've gotten close, but. As a sense of accomplishment, I hope that I left MRU in a better place. I've, with a lot with the younger guys too, helping them with school and hockey, and those guys are starting to succeed as well right now in their third, fourth years. So, to be honest, just passing that legacy down, and hopefully I did a good job of that. But that's the one thing I was proud of.
Well, we've talked about MRU. Let's look back on your Western League career. You were 7th overall pick coming into the league with the Tri-City Americans. What was that first year like for you, especially the fact that you had such a successful 16-year-old campaign that most players don't have? What gave you the confidence to be able to jump in at 16 years old on a very good team and have that much success?
I think you said it right there. It was a very good team. Surrounded by great players, great coaching, great management. They put me in a chance to succeed my 16-year-old year, and you can tell that they wanted me to succeed. The players, the management, the coaching, they all gave me that confidence to have a good year and to move forward and hopefully get drafted. And they had high hopes for me, so they put me in a great position to succeed that year. They put me with great players. They spent time with me. They tried to make me feel most comfortable as I could be as a 16-year-old living away from home. And to be honest, going into that year, I was just so excited. I was very excited to start playing junior hockey and, even playing in front of a couple thousand fans and this and that. It was something I looked forward to since I got drafted. So I was ready and I was eager to play hockey that year.
You were a consistent player throughout your entire Western League career. You played your first 4 seasons with the Tri-City Americans, and then you were traded to Calgary Hitmen. What was that situation like for you, and how does it feel to be a 20-year-old player getting traded, or a 19-year-old player getting traded from a team you've only been with your entire career from the States to up to Calgary?
It was a bittersweet feeling. The hardest part is saying goodbye to all the guys you built friendships for 3-4 years, and I had an amazing time down in Tri-City, and the management, again, the coaching, the players. It was tough to say goodbye, but at the same time, you're going to a team that obviously was going for a push to win a championship that year. Again, it was humbling that they wanted me to kind of fit in and be that puzzle piece to help them succeed that year. And you're going to a Canadian market, a big city. You're playing in an NHL rink. All that stuff factored into all the excitement that I felt going in. And the team was really good that year. They were, I think, best in the league when I got traded. So it was exciting. Like I said, it was something that I was going to miss Tri-City for sure. It's a long time there. It's my whole junior career. So a little bit scary at times. When you're on a new team, you have to fit in with new guys and a new system and everything. But again, pure excitement going there.
When you look back on your Western Hockey League career, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment? But also, if you could go back and change one thing, what would be the one thing you wish you could change?
Biggest accomplishment is it's a tough one. I'd say it's my whole 20-year-old year with Calgary. I struggled at the start of the year, point wise, and also I wasn't playing very well. And, it was a disappointment to me because I was a 20-year-old, and as you know, WHL teams only get 3 20-year-olds. So I felt like I was letting the team down, but for some reason I fought through it and I turned it around and ended up having a great second half to the year, and the team did as well. We were struggling at the start of the year and we turned it around, and I think it was part of my leadership that helped do that, as well as the other 20-year-old and 19-year-olds. It was more of a team accomplishment in that sense that I was very proud of that year, and probably my most favorite year in the junior career. And as for something I would change, that's a question that I don't even know how to answer. And I've been asked before, and you look back and I'm like, I don't know what I would change. It was I don't regret going to the league. I don't regret basically any decision I made, even the ones that turned out being bad decisions. Is something I learned from and ended up being a positive in the end. So to me, I'm sorry I can't answer that question because I can't think of one thing I could change.
It's a good political answer on that one.
Yeah, there you
go. So you're working hockey development now. You started your own company. When you're working with these young kids, what are the areas you're really focusing on to help them achieve that development that you had as a young player?
It's a good question too. The reason why we started it was, it's with 4 other MRU alumni as well. So we're all still pretty young. We played at a high level. We can connect better with the kids just because we're younger, and we've been there no longer than 10, 15 years ago. And which feels like only 2 years ago. It's crazy. So, the biggest thing we want to focus on is the kids to have fun playing hockey, because I'm a strong believer in if you're not having fun what you're doing, there's no way you can develop. I mean, a lot of things will go in one ear out the other, or you just won't be passionate about it. So we try to have fun with the kids on the ice while developing as well. And, that's the life lessons that we learned as a hockey player too. I mean, you as well, Zach, like playing hockey, you learn those life lessons that are tough to learn anywhere else. And that's something that we want to strive to do for these players and continue to teach them, and so they can move forward and be successful in life.
You're at a point now where you've gone through almost 2 different phases of your life in the past 10 years of playing in the Western Hockey League and then playing at Mount Royal University. And now you're moving on to the next stage of your career, another stage that you're hoping to be successful in. You have an accounting degree. What type of job are you looking for right now, and what position or what industry do you see yourself in? Because an accounting degree can take you across many different levels of industry. So What are you looking to do career-wise outside of the hockey development company?
Yeah, outside the hockey development company, it's again a great question, because I do want to stay in the hockey industry. And that might just be something on top of the hockey development as well. As for accounting, like I said, I'm kind of taking the year off to figure out if that's what I really wanted to do. But I prefer to make hockey my career, my life, whether it's starting in a front office somewhere, or being a coach on a hockey team. Something that I'm striving for right now is getting my coaching certificates, and about halfway through. So I enjoyed accounting. I enjoy numbers. I enjoy, it's almost like a puzzle with numbers, so it's even better. So I enjoyed it a lot. It's something that I might fall back to in about a year. I wouldn't take much longer than that, because then I'll pursue my CPA if that's the case that I want to get into and go into public practice. But as for right now, I'm going to look for more of a full-time hockey career, whether it's in the front office or coaching.
Yeah, that's great. So, Connor, my last question for you. What is your favorite hockey memory? Doesn't have to be MRU, Western Hockey League. You can be back in your major midget days or even your Bantam Pee Wee days out at North Shore Winter Club there. But what was the moment that sticks out in your mind as the moment that is just burned in there that you remember forever?
I'd say it's almost like a two-parter. Going back to my 20-year-old year in Calgary, that pivoting point in the year was we had a closed-door meeting with players only, probably around December, when we were outside of a playoff spot, I believe, or pretty close, and not achieving very much as a team. And I remember that meeting vividly, and that's the pivoting point to our year. And fast forwarding to the playoffs that year, we were playing Kootenay, and Game 7 rolled around against them, rival team, and we, sorry, Kootenay, we outplayed you pretty bad that game. We were hungry. I've never seen a team battle that hard to win that game. And, players after the game, the 16-year-olds, the 17-year-old rookies, saying that they played for us, and, the 20-year-olds that it could have been our last game, right? And I think the shots were like 50-12 at the end of the game, and we just played so well. And on top of that, I scored a hat trick, which was pretty exciting as well, and doing that in a Game 7 on home ice. So everything about that game is something I'll never forget. What the players said to us before and after the game, what the coaching did, what we battled through all year. It was definitely a night that I'll never forget.
Well, that's awesome. Connor, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to have this conversation with me. Hope you have a great rest of the summer, and all the best to you in your life moving forward here.
Of course, Zach. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Good talking to you again.